Welcome to the Beacon by Soul 33 teachings for your past, present, and future. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, the 7th of April, and we are here with another Monday mantra, the second week of April. I can't believe it. Now, if you're listening to this on YouTube, on Spotify, on the Beacon app, don't forget to like, tag, subscribe, share, and do all the things that help to support, because it helps me create more resources for you. Now, remember, the Monday mantras are all interconnected, one chapter leading to the other, a transition that happens from one phase to the next. So none of them become just redundant. They are there for you to listen and to apply as and when the message makes sense to you, or when you feel you need the message. Because sometimes if you're not in alignment, if you've fallen off somewhere, the Monday mantra is for you to apply it to what is going on in your life. If you haven't got your journals out, do get them out, because it's important to just make notes as I've switched myself on to be able to give you the healing and the activation that is needed for the coming week. So you can make notes along the way. So let's recap last week and see what was going on so that we can actually use that energy as a foundation to move into this week's Monday mantra. Okay, last week, the Monday mantra was, I will reinvent myself and allow people to see my true reflection. I will reinvent myself and allow people to see my true reflection. There was so much going on in terms of energetically. It was Ramadan or Eid. It was the Durga festival with the 9 goddesses that reinvents herself every day to be the different version of herself. Goddess Lakshmi was celebrated, Lord Ganesha was celebrated, and this whole month is about reevaluation energetically and considering making meaningful changes as we settle into the year, because we're now at the 4th month of the year. There's still time to reinvent, to reevaluate. And this whole past week and going into this week, there's this rebirth energy. This is why Goddess Durga, that we've been putting up stories about in terms of her reinvention, the different versions of her, like Ma Kushmanda, when she's in that form, she's the cosmic egg that can be rebirthed into the world in all that she wants to be. This is all the parts of us that are wanting to come out as part of our reinvention. And the essence of this month is like the rose. And it was so funny. I went for a walk during last week, and it was a walk that I do quite a lot. And I looked at a fence, and the fence is really high up, and you can't really see much past it or over it. There was one rose that was just sticking out of everything. And so I took a photo of it to put it up on my stories, because I knew that was a sign for all of us, because we're all connecting to the divine, especially while we're doing this, to activate you for getting the best out of this week. Many traditions associate with roses and the opening of the heart. And this is why I mentioned the rib pain, which is obviously behind the heart. And some of you have commented with your own stories of pain on the left-hand side. And yes, it's all connected, because it's the growing pains from the week before, growing into divine love, growing into spiritual alignment. And we begin the month focusing on self-love and engaging in charitable acts as we give to ourselves and give to others. We may find that secrets are being revealed. And I've been seeing a lot of clients that are holding on to secrets unconsciously. These family secrets, through timelines, through DNA. And all of this, people are wanting this to be shifted out. They're tired of carrying a burden that does not belong to them. Who is tired of carrying a burden that it does not belong to you? Comment below or in the group chat and let us know what that means to you. I love that the 1st of April brought the Ganesha festival to celebrate him, because that was like, okay, obstacles moving out of the way, that new form of adaptability with the reeds that we were talking about, with reeds as my scepter, to reinvent as the rose. So this is why I recorded a meditation called Reinvention of the Rose, which is up on the app now for you to do throughout whenever you want, but this month also. And as you give, whether you're giving knowledge, whether you're giving, remunerating someone, whether you're giving love, whatever you're giving, give from that place of generosity and authenticity. The reason why is I notice a lot of people want to start their own businesses. But the intention needs to be from a place of what is your contribution? I remember, and I've told this story on podcast before, I had always wanted to have my own business. And so when I finished university, I worked for a while. And then around 28, I started my business, which was my product distribution. And that was hard. It was a hard business, but I wanted to have my own business. But the reason was it was from my ego. I loved the products, but my ego and personality wanted to make money. It wanted to be somebody. It was coming from the wrong place. And therefore, when Soul 33 kicked in, I was not expecting it. I was not wanting it. I was not intending for it to be anything like what it is now. But that was the thing, because when I started it, it wasn't because I wanted to start my own business. It was because I was giving and contributing in a way that I knew I was meant to, because I was being given a gift and ability to be able to help people. So realign what you're doing and why you are doing it, your intention and your authenticity, because that's what people will see as you embark on your journeys. There is a movement taking place, and I've been seeing this through different timelines, of movement in which people are wanting to be able to move and not be stuck, but to create their own communities. And I've seen this multiple times with clients over this last week, whether it's like people wanting to create their own programs, people wanting to create their own community. They may not even have had this physical thought yet, but in the blueprint, Spirit's been showing me these movements, these incredible individuals are wanting to create. So if you're wanting to create a movement, think about the intention. What are you contributing? The week that we've just had has been about unleashing your gifts. That also is coming through this week, and you may even receive gifts in return. The Hamsa hand, the hand of protection, I saw this needing to come through for us last week. I feel like this is more of an overarching energy of, as we move through into this place of authenticity, as we reinvent, the Hamsa hand is symbolizing that we are protected in the divine gifts that are coming through for us. And we're wanting to observe how we're attracting light beings, because no matter what is going on in our lives, on some level we are attracting it. So if I have a negative interaction with someone, I'll be like, what is it about me that attracted that or needed to be triggered by that? Observe yourself, and also look at the new ideas that are emerging. When you have the space to create, new ideas will be given to you. Observe them, because they are showing you what gifts are coming in for you to be able to contribute in a way where people can see that you are authentically doing it for them. And it's then validated because people are wanting to come to you or do things with you. And that's when you know that you can turn it into a movement. I've also said in the last week, being mindful in choosing your battles, because at the moment, we've had Mercury retrograde. It's coming to be stationed direct soon. We've had Venus retrograde. That also, I believe, is coming to be stationed direct soon. And it's like choosing your battles. I had an interesting insight on myself the other day, where I brought up an old story of mine, but I reacted to it really differently, and I was very proud of it. Rather than getting into battle and aggressive mode, I looked at another way of actually being able to deal with it and had a better outcome. So I knew that there was something shifting in the collective and how we're telling our stories differently now, where we're not in battle mode so much, but in a way of being empowered, that this is how I feel, but this is not how I'm needing to be aggressive about it anymore, because we're being patient over the words that we're using, because aggression is instant. Patience requires thought and awareness. Okay, on the action I asked for last week is, how were you going to reinvent yourself? For me, it was in the way that my story was changing. It was in the way that I was experiencing clients. And personally, it was also in the way that I'm leaning in for support and help, especially now that we've got Lucy on board as well, so that we can get more out there to you. As the week went on, we put up a couple of episodes of conversations with Lucy, discussions Lucy and I were having just by ourselves, and she put the camera on. And it was this very interesting energy of resentment. And this is coming up a lot. And it may not even be conscious resentment, but there is resentment in like dreams are not coming true, comparison, resentment that you're doing and giving too much. But this is what's needing to be cleared. And therefore, the resentment is coming because you're not fully being honest in some way, because, you're afraid of the outcome, or you're not willing to show yourself in your true light because you may fear other people might not like it. So those two things, honesty and resentment, are interlinked with one another. And this is what we brought up during the week as mini lessons for you. The card that came up last week for your soul progression pull was new idea, the number 21. And the week of reinvention with Ma Durga changing into her different avatars, with Lakshmi, with Ganesha, Ramadan, all of this powerful spiritual energy, it brings a powerful opportunity for reinvention, unveiling new ideas like, this is who I want to be now. I want to let go of it, and reevaluating who we are and how we wish to express ourselves honestly without resentment and aggression. Just as our plant requires, or our rose requires nourishment to grow, we're being called to fertilize our spirits and cultivate the potential that lies within us, because we all have potential. The number 21 holds a special significance, much like the milestone of turning 21. And this is the example Spirit gave, because I tuned into the card and they were like, well, it's like turning 21 again. 21 is an age where, you're technically an adult, you can do more things, and it was that vibe that was coming in some way, which is often, a rite of passage. So we're being given a rite of passage right now to be more authentically expressing ourselves in our communication. And this energetic connection underscores the importance of expressing ourselves and embracing unique creative potentials. So as we explore this transformative time, always reflect, always observe, because when we do, or if someone reflects something back at us that you didn't realize, like moments when I've been aggressive in my response, I generally know, but sometimes if I'm too carried away in my own story, I like being told. Then I can recognize, okay, I didn't realize I was doing this. Where is it coming from? Resentment, control, anger, whatever it is. So these innovations are coming in, and new ideas, new ways of being. Like every time a new rose petal forms, it's that imprint that is actually helping us blossom. And we have our extended meaning of the Monday mantra. And this is reinvention of the self is a journey that encompasses the myriad patterns of our personality. Because our personality can be so varied, especially when we're triggered into different things, or by different things. Just as each petal of a rose carries its own unique imprint, so too does every facet of our being reflect who we are and who we aspire to become in the world. By embracing our authentic selves, even in the face of our shadows, we can truly illuminate our path. This honest reflection allows for the blossoming of our true essence, guiding us toward a fuller, richer existence. In this process of our self-discovery and transformation, we not only honor our individuality, but we cultivate the courage to grow into the person we were always meant to be. Everyone here is bettering themselves. Everyone who comes to me, even if the information is jarring or confronting, it's all for the betterment of you, because the clearing is taking place, because your soul is acknowledging exactly what you need to be aware of that could be sabotaging or betraying you in some way. Because we want to take pride in ourselves when we recognize the elements that contribute to our wholeness. Even the shadow sides. I like that I'm able to confront things immediately rather than sit and brew. And I like that I'm sometimes controlling, but sometimes it can be too much. It makes up the wholeness in all of us. Even if someone points out that we could have responded differently, which I had last week in a personal situation, it's important to acknowledge the feedback carries truth, helping us to see our reflection for what it was. By accepting these insights, we learn, grow, allowing another petal of our inner rose to blossom. And I love this for all of us, that we're learning more about ourselves through these Monday mantras, reinventing ourselves to take pride in who we are. Reinvention of the rose, energy coming to all of us. Now, I am always here for you. You know that I am one person and I'm doing my very best to create a place on the app where you can go and heal yourself. I have spent many, many hours and years building this app, and we are making changes as we grow. And I think some people have this perception like, the app's there is just a thing. But I created the app because I wish that I had something like that when I was going through all my spiritual things, a place to go and know what the energy is, a place to be able to harness the energy through the meditation homeworks that's set. And so if you are wanting to join and you're really serious about your ascension, that's what it's there for. soul33@gmail.com to email Kieran for the link to join. And also if you're wanting to go on a wait list, please be patient. We are doing our very best to get back to people, and it's always the right time when you see me, but there are mini readings and also personalized meditations, which I know many of you get, and that is also a Kieran thing, soul33@gmail.com with the right subject title, and thank you for your patience with all of it. We appreciate it. Are you ready for this week's Monday mantra? So tune into these words. I will revisit the forgotten to break the cycle that demands forgiveness. Curious, isn't it? I will revisit the forgotten to break the cycle that demands forgiveness. There are new light codes coming in this week. I talked about the Egyptian codes a couple of weeks ago, I believe, and there's more of that activating in these ancient grounds that are around the world, which I know some of you are visiting at the moment too, which is incredible. But it's like these new light codes are like what you would see in a science fiction novel. So you might start seeing more light behind your eyes. You might notice different phenomenons. And this incoming energy is like a shape-shifting type of energy. So the shape-shifting meditation might be a good one for you to do. And the insights that reveal new truth are coming from these light codes. Like you think of the ancient beings and the ancient ones, they knew something that we've all forgotten. But what Spirit said to me is we're revisiting the forgotten to break the cycle that demands forgiveness. But that wisdom has been cut off, making it people, there's many people in the world that challenge and don't want to express or acknowledge the ancient wisdom. That's needing forgiveness. So this is on a very deep level of healing, this Monday mantra. It's this shift that we're going to get this week is about old intellectual knowledge tied to egoic memories and probabilities, urging us to embrace the fresh information before us. So I've been noticing that more and more people are developing memory issues like forgetting, dementia, Alzheimer's, and it's tied into the metaphysical realm of the old memories that they want to forget. And maybe in those memories there is trauma and pain that needs to be forgiven. What does that mean to you? And when I've said here, egoic memories and probabilities, it's like we were too much based in the probability of how things were going to turn out and didn't leave space for nature to take its course, for the wisdom to be passed on. And remember, we've been talking about family tree, DNA, coming back to your cultural roots. It's all connected to that. So let me know what you are hearing as I'm saying this. So we're being urged to embrace the fresh information unfolding before us. You might even sense the memory loss yourself while people are being diagnosed with cognitive difficulties. This phenomenon is also on a spiritual level, like how we come to earth with amnesia. We've forgotten the truth. All of that is tied up in this week's energy. We must consider what we want to forget. Okay, so this is the other side of it, because remember, there's always two sides of everything, and this is the other side of the Monday mantra. And this is the unraveling of old stories as part of the reinvention. What do you want to forget? Forgetting doesn't mean suppressing and holding it in there. It means forgetting that you don't need that anymore. It's like, let's let go of it. It's as if the mind is emptying itself at the moment. For those of you who are having the weird type of, I can't remember what actually happened, because that trauma is starting to let go. It's like this new growth is what is blossoming. Therefore, that's why we are forgetting from the more spiritual perspective. This is not about the cognitive diseases that are coming in. I am reminding you, you are worthy of experiencing beauty in your life, and it's important to remember that your belongings, both your physical and emotional belongings, are safe. The hand of Hamsa is protecting you. So for those of you who identify as twins or are committed to someone because, you're often some type of reflection of each other, they are serving as a mirror to you this week. So those of you who are with someone in close proximity or are twins, look at that mirror image this week, and you might find that in a twin, I don't like to use the word twin soul or twin flame, but it's in that similar vein. And so this message is going to resonate much more in the reflection of like, oh, I'm meeting someone that's like me, or someone's mirroring something to me. As we approach the full moon at the end of this week and the beginning of next week, so it'll tie into next week's Monday mantra too, this reconnection with ourselves is part of our reevaluation and reinvention, and this forgiveness of what we want to forget or what we've forgotten or who we've forgotten is breaking the cycle. It's going to be very interesting as this week unfolds. We've got the Hanuman festival, the monkey god. And there's a meditation on the app around him about Hanuman's creation. And he's a central figure in Hindu mythology, and he's often depicted with his Gada, because his Gada, which is like a big weapon, and it's not to hurt people, because the mythology is not about hurting, it's about destroying all the parts of us that we need to let go of, the parts that we want to forget now, and forget in the point where it's healed and not needing to transfer on and on. And this Hanuman festival falls on the full moon day, because devotees will be going to this time to let go and recreate with Hanuman. So he comes in with the energy of devotion and strength and righteousness as well. What is right for me? What is aligned with my authenticity? We need faith this week, not to forget that we are in this part of our lives where there is this important surrendering to the divine will, which is the rose blossoming connection. A rose blooms on its own, and so are we. And this faith is letting go of what we thought were probabilities, black or white, and being allowed to embrace the intervention that aligns ourselves with the natural flow of life, because faith is going to allow us to navigate the unknown with confidence, knowing that we're supported, the Hamsa hand is protecting us, we're encouraged to open our hearts and look at the uncertainty as a part of the travel and journey we are on together that's leading us to our divine path. And with this full moon, time to surrender, time to just let go, time to release our burdens. And you might want to actively do that outside with the full moon. And obviously that letting go will be part of next week's Monday mantra. Coming back to a place of balance, knowing that you don't need to always be externally obligated, coming back to your purpose and your values, finding the strength with Hanuman, finding the strength to empower and stand firm in your convictions, and a morally right action, which is the righteousness of being able to have values that create a purposeful and fulfilling life. Full moon, Usually for me, the full moon stuff starts about a week before. This is why we're talking about it now. But getting this whatever broken, like whatever you need to break these patterns, the unraveling of the story continues. So this week, your action I'd like you to consider is what cycle must be broken and forgiven so that the right action can be taken. What does that mean to you? What cycle must be broken and forgiven so that the right action can be taken? Okay, I want you to close your eyes now if you are not driving. And your mirror image this week, your reflection, your twin in some way, is going to be a muse to you. So we're bringing in the energy of something or someone to be a mirror image and a muse as you allow yourself to be receptive to the light codes coming in, maybe in the form of diamond shapes or sacred geometry, because it's going to illuminate the light in your darkness, and the darkness is what's going to be let go with the full moon, because you are then free from the old beliefs of the ego, because you will be able to see. So we're giving you the energy of sight while being compassionate to yourself, knowing that you are proud of who you are and that healing is taking place, and knowing that your intuition is going to be heightened in terms of your contribution. Also, animals come in, so you might be getting messages from spirit animals, birds, living animals, animals that you have been the caretaker of. Connecting with animals is going to be important in some way, not necessarily physical, but energetic. So there's a lot going on with the second week of April, and as we know, the full moon can bring up lots of things to clear. Therefore, I will revisit the forgotten. Maybe something you thought you had put to rest comes back up, and I know it's coming back for many of us, but you're going to break the cycle that demands forgiveness. I'm always here for you, but I am one person, so we've got the team to help. Thank you for your patience, and do email Karen at soul33@gmail.com if you need any help. Your Monday mantra is, I will revisit the forgotten to break the cycle that demands forgiveness. Loving this reinvention energy for all of us, and I'll see you next week.